Welcome to another Juju live session. This is Joana Saahirah with a live Q&A on one of my dearest subjects, competition amongst women. In this Juju live session, I'm gonna drink my coffee because it's early and it's been a long day already and because it's so cold right where I am. Feel welcome to join me live and share your questions, share your experience, share your feedback around the theme of competition amongst women, specifically, but not only inside the field of Egyptian dance, which is a very fertile territory for competition, not only amongst women, I may add. So feel welcome to join me live, share your perspective with me, and I'm going to answer some of the most frequent questions, some of the most interesting and perhaps silly questions around this theme, okay? But before I dive into it, I gotta do the protocol. I gotta present myself for the ones who don't know me yet. I'm a world-renowned Oriental dancer, teacher, choreographer, author, and I'm also the creator of the pioneering Joana Saahirah's World and Joana Saahirah's Online Dance School, delivering authentic Egyptian dance, personal discovery, and empowerment. Now, let's dive immediately into the subject of competition amongst women. And before I read the questions I selected and before I answer them, let me tell you something. Competition doesn't happen only amongst women. Okay, this is the first thing I would like to say. From my experience inside the Egyptian dance field and outside, there is competition in the world, period. So we live in a very competitive world. We live in a world oriented for achievement, for productivity, for success. And through the advent of social media, that competition has risen to levels I think we've never seen before, because nowadays we compare ourselves, knowingly or not, with other people on social media, right? Even if you are not actively searching for other people's references and lives to compare yourself to those references and lives, the fact is we are surrounded, like it or not, by the realities or the constructions of realities of many people, and it is humanly natural, let's put it this way, to compare ourselves, even if just unconsciously. Am I living that life? Am I that healthy? Am I that successful? Am I that happy? Am I that beautiful? Am I that this? Am I that? And this is the competition, indirect and also direct, that we live in, independently of being a woman, being a man, being an alien, independently of talking about the field of Egyptian dance or any other field. So the first thing I would like to share with you, and this is just my perspective, of course, you may agree, disagree, is that it would be interesting for us to start thinking about not comparing ourselves to others, not taking the realities of others as references, and something I would like to achieve, something that I would like to match, okay, because that's where competition comes from. And I would highly suggest that each one of us focuses on their own business, okay? And then again, unless you are hiding in a cave without internet, without any human interaction, you will be sooner or later be invited to compare yourself with someone, at least to see how I'm doing, how they're doing, where are they going, should I go there, could I go there, would I want to go there? Because this is also a way of knowing where we are in the world and locating ourselves. But at the same time, I think the most interesting thing to do to start finishing with this business of competition, it's really to mind your own business. Focus in what makes sense to you, focus in your own value, focus in your own life, focus in your own dance if you're a dancer or if you're a student of Egyptian dance, and let the background noise as background noise and not as a reference that you should necessarily follow. I don't think you should necessarily follow anyone but yourself, okay? So let's go into the first question, and then again I will invite you to to join me if you like and share your questions and feedback with me. Is belly dance, and mind you, these terms are not my terms, okay? These are questions I have selected, and I wouldn't call it belly dance, as you know by now. I would call it Egyptian Oriental Dance or Raksa Sharki, because that's the correct name. But I'm gonna read it as I wrote it here, okay? Is belly dance a competitive field? This is the first question, and I think it opens our session. Is belly dance or Egyptian dance a competitive field? Now, it is a tricky question to answer because, yes, I've already said there is competition everywhere, okay? So the Egyptian dance field is not particularly competitive. I don't think so. To be very honest, I don't think so, unless you are in Cairo, unless you are working, as I worked for almost a decade of my life, managing your own orchestra in top venues in Cairo. Not the lower venues, not the cheap nightclubs and theaters, not the cheap weddings. No. The high standard venues, highly competitive and low competition. Not only highly competitive, but there is a lot of low competition, very dirty competition, terrible, very hard. But if you are outside of Cairo and if you are working in Egyptian dance around the world, in your own country, I do not think that Egyptian dance is more competitive than, let's say, the world of finance or the world of medicine, doctors and nurses, or any other field. I don't think so. In fact, in all these years of work in Egypt and working around the world, I worked with sponsors, organizers, teachers from all over the globe, literally. From Spain to China, from Japan to Cyprus, from Cyprus to Germany, from Germany to Argentina, from Argentina to the USA, to whatever. Imagine I've been there, okay? And I have met a lot of incredible women, a lot. Have I met competitive teachers? Yes. Have I met competitive dancers? Yes. Have I met competitive event organizers? Even yes, absolutely. But not more than I would meet in any other field. That's my position. I do not think that Egyptian dance, exception made for the high standard 5 stars environment of Egyptian dance in Cairo, exception made for that, I do not think it is particularly competitive. No, it is competitive like any other field, okay? So you will have people who will want to eliminate you just because you're competition, especially in Cairo, but not only. Yes, people who will burn your dresses. I had my dresses burnt in Egypt. People who will send the police for you in order to take you out for any reason. I had that happening with me in Cairo. People who will sabotage your work and try to steal your musicians, for instance. It happened to me in Cairo several times. People who will try to trap you and step on you just because you're competition. Yes, it does exist, but then again, exception made for Cairo. I don't think it's more competitive than any other field. I just think it is more polemic and it is more spicy, because Egyptian dance is a spicy environment and is a spicy theme for most people. Not for me, it's quite natural. It's my environment for more than 20 years, but for regular folks who are not actively professionally working in this field, it is woo, you know, exciting and kind of forbidden and exotic. Okay, so you do find a lot of low level competition. You do find a lot of women who support each other. This is true too, and I have to say it. Not in Cairo, no. I did not have other dancers supporting me in Cairo and not competing. In Cairo, everyone was competing. Okay, that's my experience. Then again, other dancers may have had different experiences. I even tried to make friends with some dancers at the time, and they were just not into it. I got on a coffee or two with a couple of dancers, but I knew immediately those would not be my friends. Because they wanted to eliminate me. They wanted to take me down, and it was very, very obvious. Around the world, I met a lot of nice women, actually, a lot of nice dancers. a lot of nice organizers, a lot of nice teachers and colleagues who were very elegant, very supportive, very honest, very ethical. So you will find a little bit of everything, okay? I also found, you know, in countries like Argentina or Russia, where the markets are stronger and bigger, I also found women who would be, I call it the Diva Syndrome, who would be very, very bothered by your presence and very moved, not in a good way, by your presence and trying to put themselves ahead of you by any means. Yes, it does happen. But then again, I do believe you will find this in every area. Okay. So my final answer would be exception made for Cairo at the 5-star environment. No, Egyptian dance is not particularly competitive, not more than other fields, okay? Now, what do I think about competitions? Now, this question was about competitions in general, dance competitions, not about competition amongst women, okay? But I found it was interesting to insert it in this live Q&A because it is about competition. So I have been a judge in several competitions, some of them the biggest in the world, okay? In Yekaterinburg, for instance, or in Moscow, in Russia, we may judge hundreds of dancers in a weekend. It's crazy and it's amazing. It's very well organized, very professional, and I've learned a lot from it, okay? So I've loved being a judge on many occasions. First, because I love to watch people dance. This is the first thing. I really love to watch people dance. Second, because when I am reminded of the criteria of judgment in a professional competition, I'm reminded what I'm expected to do as a professional dancer. And you know, when you've been doing this for a long time, and when you are someone who is totally out of the box, as I've always been, it is easy to forget what are the standards or what are the expectations of most people in relation to me, Joana, the professional. So every time I went as a judge, I worked as a judge in a professional, well-organized competition, I reminded myself of what was expected of a professional dancer like me. I was also in love with the creativity, the ideas, and the diversity in the dances that I judged. I have to tell you that I saw a lot of dancers who were not very well prepared. I saw a lot of dancers who were so fabulous that I wondered, why is this person not a professional? You know, and I wish they were. And I actually told a few of them, if it's something that is in your heart, you should definitely consider doing it professionally because they're so good. Very good, better than some of the dancers that sell themselves as professionals, actually, okay? But what do I think in the end of the day about competitions? I think they have good things and bad things, okay? I do think that the competition mode, all dancers or most dancers have gotten into these days is not a good thing. I can tell you that. So in my mind, I distinguish a competition, so the event where people are going to compete for a prize, and there is a reason to compete because you are in a competition, and the competition mode. What do I mean by competition mode? Dancers dance as if they were on a competition, even if they're not. It's like they're always trying to be something more, someone better than. It's like they're fighting against an invisible enemy. So even if they're not competing in an official competition, they are still dancing as if they were. A lot of aggressivity, a lot of speed, a lot of overdoing, overreacting, a lot of ego, a lot of vanity, a lot of arrogance, a lot of masks, a lot of trying so hard, too hard, a lot of hysterical kung fu movements. And let me tell you this, of course, this is the trend these days, okay? These are trends that are launched by specific dancers and followed, and then it becomes the thing of the moment. But that is not, according to my experience, what authentic Egyptian dance stands for, you know? I learned Egyptian dance from Egypt from a very early age. I lived, performed, researched, worked, and studied with the best. And I can tell you from absolute certainty, with absolute certainty, Egyptian dance is not aggressive. Egyptian dance is not a kung fu fight. Egyptian dance is not something that you should do to be better than anyone else, or to compare yourself to anyone else, or to compete with anyone else. Egyptian dance is about expressing your individuality, expressing who you are in a free, heartful, open way. Okay? Now, if we remove the competition mode, which is operating these days for most dancers, and that thing I've already told you I don't like, I don't approve of, I think it's nonsense, and it's gonna end because trends come and go. Remember this, trends come and go. The essential thing, the real thing remains. This is why I love authentic Egyptian dance and not trends, because I'm here for the long run, okay? But the competitions, the official competitions have good stuff. They have good stuff, okay? So when a dancer prepares herself for a competition, and I've prepared many dancers for competitions in my private coaching, what do they want? Obviously, they want to win, okay? I don't believe in someone who enters a competition and says, I don't want to win. I don't care if I win. I don't believe them, okay? I don't believe them. I think if you are subscribing to a competition and if you're preparing to compete, you want to win. You will not die if you lose, but you want to win. You're not there to spend your time just to waste time. No, don't give me the bullshit, please. Okay? Because sometimes I hear dancers say, no, I don't want to win. I just want to participate. I don't believe in that, okay? So what happens? They prepare themselves for the event, independently of how they will be judged, independently if they win, they lose. That's not the point for me. The point is the work they have to do in order to prepare themselves for the competition. And I think this is a very important thing. There is a deadline, okay? And deadlines are great to kick our asses. They make us push ourselves and complete certain tasks by a certain date. And I think that has a lot of benefits in it, okay? And preparing for a competition will demand that you prepare yourself and become the best version of yourself possible, the best dancer that you can master until the deadline, until the date of the competition. So I help dancers prepare a dance piece. I help them to develop their communicational skills, their self-expression, their technique, their musicality, their emotional reaction to the music. We work on all of that. And that work that we do as a preparation for the competition, nobody can take it away. Even if they lose, okay? Even if they come on first place or last place, the work they do, if they are really seriously into the competition, and if they do the work of preparation, is a work that remains. It stays there. So the dancer they were before the competition is not the dancer they will be after. They will be a more mature dancer, more prepared, more knowledgeable, more confident, more daring, all the good stuff. Now, last but not least, I really love that through competition, dancers are pushed to put themselves out there, to expose themselves, to show themselves, even if they don't want to be professionals, okay? It is good to have the guts to be seen, allowing yourself to be seen and also allowing yourself to be criticized, okay? Depending on the competition, you will have judges actually giving you notes. And in Russia, for instance, where competitions are so well organized, what happens is they will come for the judges and ask, why did you give me this punctuation? Can you explain? And I love that, because then I can tell them, look, in your self-expression, you did this, but you didn't do that. In your technique, this was lacking, this was lacking, this was good. In your presentation, in your body posture, this was lacking, this has to be developed, this is strong, this is already there. And it is very useful that dancers are able to expose themselves, to put themselves out there, and to receive constructive criticism with maturity, an open mind, and humbleness. okay? Because when you receive humble criticism from professional judges, you're getting free education. Basically, that's it. You're getting free education. You're getting guidelines on how to improve for free. You know how much does that cost? I paid for that in my days, okay? So it's beautiful when someone who is more knowledgeable and more experienced than you offers their time and their expertise to help you improve. Now, having the humbleness and the openness to listen and to apply, that's another skill. And if dancers have it, competitions can be a great venue for them to grow, okay? Now, do dancers help each other in the Egyptian dance field? Okay, now I think I've answered this one somehow. Do dancers help each other? Some do and some don't, like in any other field. Then again, I make a clear distinction. The environment in Cairo, the five-star environment, okay, is an environment that is small, highly competitive, corrupted, and it is not an environment where people help each other. No. And by people, I mean dancers and managers of dancers. No. They will stop you from working if they can. They will stop you from dancing if they can. I had nails stuck into my shoes in my dressing room once to destroy my feet. Okay, so that I couldn't dance anymore. That's how helpful, they can be. So in Cairo, I don't believe dancers help each other because it is a very small, very competitive, very desired pool. Okay, around the world you will find dancers who do help each other. I was helped by several dancers. I was supported by several dancers, and others don't. Like in any other field. I'm gonna tell you a story about support. The first time I was in Eilat, a festival in Israel, a festival organized by Orit, a great dancer, great teacher, beautiful organizer, and a woman of elegance, okay? A woman of strength and elegance. The first time I was invited to her festival, of course, I went reluctantly because I was coming from Egypt, and Israel doesn't have a good relationship with Egypt. And I felt, oh my God, am I betraying Egypt by going to Israel? Am I gonna go into trouble, even with law, by going to Israel? And all of these questions were going through my mind. And what convinced me to go was the love, the support, and the professionalism of Orit. When I arrived to the festival, I will never forget the presentation she did of myself and of my work to her community. And we're talking about thousands of people, okay? In Eilat Festival, you always had thousands. I think it is, or it was, the biggest Oriental dance festival in the world, if I'm not mistaken, in terms of quality and in terms of quantity of participants. It was really amazing. And I will never forget the way Orit presented me to the people. It brought tears to my eyes. I could not believe someone that was my competitor, because, we were working in the same pool, in the international pool of festivals and events. Someone who was my competitor could have hired me and treated me like a queen, really like a queen, and not only in private, but in public. That kind of elegance, that kind of generosity is something that I found frequently, I must add, in my work around the world. You will find a lot of nasty people, yes, and nasty women, because women are not perfect, just like men are not perfect. When I talk about men and women, I talk about human beings. So for me, men are not superior to women, women are not superior to men. I have met a lot of nasty women, nasty, evil, but I've also met a lot of amazing women, angels, really amazing women. So you will find a little bit of everything, okay? As I told you, I don't think that Egyptian dance field is particularly competitive, exception made for the 5 stars environment in Cairo, and I don't think that women are more competitive with each other than men are competitive with each other. I think there is competition everywhere, amongst women, amongst men, in Egyptian dance field, outside of the Egyptian dance field, you name it. We live in a competitive world, like it or not. Okay, so even if you're not competing with others, others will compete with you, and you will be competing for certain jobs, for instance, okay, in the Egyptian dance field and outside of it. Knowingly or not, you will. All right. Now, the way you deal with that, that's the key. Okay. So if I have to compete, there are two ways of competing. One is I'm gonna work my ass off so that I am the best in what I do. That's my way of competing. Okay. So if I am in a competition, I'm not going to look at my competitors, what they're doing, who they are. I don't care, because they're not me. So if I focus on them, I'm not focusing on myself. And focusing on myself is what is gonna make me get better and eventually become the best dancer in the room. Okay? So it's super important to understand that we live in a competitive world, period. And then if you have to compete for a job, for a place, for a certain opportunity, you're either gonna try to sabotage the other person, which is something I don't advise and don't approve of. Okay, it's what I call the dirty competition. Or you're gonna become so good, so good, so good by focusing on yourself, on your craft, on what you do, that you will leave no choice to the one who's gonna pick the right person. They have to pick you because you're the best. You've worked for it. So I believe that competition can push you to become better, okay? To become the best version that you can be as a dancer, as a person, as a choreographer, as a teacher, as a lover, as a friend. Yes, absolutely. So use it as fuel for growth, not fuel for hatred. Okay? Now, how can we teach women how to be less competitive with each other? I wrote this question not because I find it particularly interesting, but because I find it particularly silly. You know, how can we teach women to be less competitive with each other? Okay, it is silly, but when I think about it, well, there's a reason I selected this question. I do think that women are very much stimulated to compete with each other. Okay. Now, let me tell you something. I have worked for many years in a male environment. When I started in Cairo, my environment was male. So I was surrounded by my musicians, even my assistant at the time when I began was a man, an older gentleman. My technicians, my friends were male. My world was male. For many years, I didn't have, or I had very little contact with women, okay? My world was men. And I can tell you men are very competitive with each other too. But I do not think that society stimulates that competition that much. Not as much as it stimulates the competition amongst women. So what I would tell this person, how can we teach women to be less competitive with each other, is not to allow society and the ones who surround us to influence our choices, and not to allow anyone to brainwash us into thinking that other women are our enemies. Other women are our competition by default. They're not. They're not. That is absolute nonsense. Nobody is your competition, by the way. You are who you are. And then again, if you're applying for something that you want to win, be the best at what you do. And then you will beat men and women and aliens alike, okay? It's not a question of competing with other women. For what? For what? One of the things that I do in my classes at Joana Saahirah's online dance school and in my physical presential classes is to make sure that the women in my class or workshop or course are fully aware that I have a no competition, no evilness policy in the room. I make it very, very clear that in my space, women are not allowed to compete with each other. If they want to kill each other and rip each other's hair outside, they're welcome to do so. But in my space, in the space that I create for the practice of the sacred art of Egyptian dance, because it is sacred to me, it is sacred, I don't allow it. It's like violating a temple, a sacred place. The place where I dance is sacred. The ground upon which I dance is sacred. And the ground upon which I teach Egyptian dance is sacred. I do not allow anyone to compete with anyone or to be unkind or evil to anyone. That's a no-no. And I am known for stopping classes and giving people pep talks and even inviting them to leave if they don't abide by that rule. So there is an education to be made amongst women, amongst men, towards women, that will remind women they are not each other's enemies. That will remind women that we are not competing by default. And this is something that you can see very clearly when you enter a room. I notice it when I enter a room. Women very frequently will look at me like already comparing themselves and observing me. And what I do immediately is I turn to them, I smile, and sometimes I even send a kiss. Mwah. For them to leave to drop that coat, to drop that assumption. It is important to remind each other and ourselves that we are sisters. And sisters is not a fake sisterhood. We love each other. I love everyone. Everyone loves me. No, you don't love everyone and not everyone loves you, okay? But sisterhood is the respect for other women. Sisterhood is the loyalty for other women. I may not like a particular woman, but I'm still going to respect her for as long as she respects me, and I'm still going to be loyal to her. That's the meaning of sisterhood. It's respecting other women as you respect yourself. Being loyal to other women as you are loyal to yourself. Okay? Super important. What else? What else? How women can support other women. Okay, this is my favorite question. Okay, how women can support other women. For the ones who have been studying with me, you know this is a big thing for me, okay? Supporting each other in the classroom, supporting each other outside of the classroom, supporting each other in dance and in life. Why is this such a core value for my work? Why is this such a core value for my school, Joana Saahirah's online dance school? Why is this such a core value for my life? First of all, because I don't believe in the evolution of Egyptian dance without the evolution of women. Sorry, guys. I don't believe it. If we want to develop and elevate and make Egyptian dance evolve, I don't think we can do it without evolving as women. And women supporting women as opposed to women competing with women and trashing other women is a key to women's evolution, okay? So supporting women is a core value of Joana Saahirah's world. It is also a core value of my life. It doesn't mean then again that you're going to be nice and sweet to all kinds of women, because as I mentioned, there are good and bad people in the world. Okay, not every woman is worth your time, just like not every man is worth your time. Not every woman is worth your support and help. I don't believe in that. Not every woman is kind, honest. No, but love the ones who love you. This is what I always think to myself. Take care of the women who take care of you in some way. Support the women who support you. Find your tribe, the women who have a connection with you in some way, and support them and allow them to support you and ask for support when you need. This is super important. So supporting women is giving support, but it's also asking for support. I very often ask for support of my friends, my intimate friends, even my own students. Help me here. Give me a feedback there. Can you please share this? Can you please help me here? And they know they can count on me to help them as well. Many of my students are my personal friends, and I know this is against the rules, but this is what it is, because I have students following me for more than 20 years and working with me for more than 20 years, so of course they become friends. And I always found that having a strong network of women who respect you and love you and support you is one of the most important keys to success and happiness and longevity as well. So how can women support women? First of all, by understanding that we are not competing with each other, not necessarily. And if you have to compete for a job, for something, instead of wanting to destroy the other person, instead of focusing on the other person, focus on yourself, focus on becoming the best person for that job. Okay, I know this is not the trendy way. It's not the easy way, but it is the way that will dignify you. And it is the way that will push you to evolve, okay? So we're not competing with each other, understand that. Not necessarily. Competing with each other is a choice. It's not a default mode for women. It's not. It's a choice. You may choose to compete with other women, but that's your choice. It's not the way it is. It's the way you choose it to be, okay? Second thing, support and ask for support. I've already mentioned that. Support and ask for support. What do I mean support? Support can come in many ways, okay? So sometimes imagine that I ask my students for feedback on our school. I do periodically when they finish a course or independently of the courses we have going on. I will periodically ask them, what do you think about the school? What can be improved? What do you like about it? Do you recommend it to other dancers? My students know. Every once in a while I will make these questions and I ask them, please, give me your feedback. This is support. I will ask my students to share an event, and very often they do it without me asking for it. I will ask them for an information or for a participation or for a reference, and they're very generous with me. But why they're very generous with me? First of all, I'm quite lucky. You know, I would say like 99% of the students I have taught along the way were amazing people. Only 1%, I don't even remember who were those black sheep. But also because I support them as well. So very often we ask, oh, why women are not supportive to me? But we don't ask, am I supportive to those women? Because the fastest route to get what you want is to give what you want. This is something that a lot of people don't know about. If you want more support from other women, support other women. If you want more love from other women, start loving other women. Speak lovingly to other women. Think lovingly to other women. Act lovingly towards other women, and you will start receiving, okay? If you want more strength, give strength to other women. You want to receive strength and empowerment from them? Give it to them. If you want more peace, give peace away. Whatever you give, you receive. So don't ask so many times, why the women are not supportive to me? Ask more often, why am I not supporting other women? And the moment you do, you will start receiving the feedback, okay? Also, I think it is very important for women to understand that we are different, that very often the thing that annoys us in the other woman is the thing that we have to solve in ourselves. So as I usually say, women are mirrors of each other. So if you get annoyed by something in another woman, ask yourself, do I have it in me? Or is there something there, this thing that annoys me, that I have to work on myself? Because usually there is a mirror effect there, okay? If there is no mirror effect, you're either gonna love that woman or you're gonna ignore her. But if she annoys you, if she irritates you, if she provokes you, if she rubs you in the wrong way, rest assured, she's a messenger for something you have to solve in yourself. And if she's a messenger, she's precious. Be smart and understand what is the message. What do I have to develop in myself that I'm seeing in that woman, that I'm not liking? It's moving me. It's disturbing me. It's super important, okay? Last but not least, how can we support other women? How can women support other women? I do believe in women coming together to do things together. Now, do I think we must create like a female-only club? No, I don't think so. But if women organize themselves by themselves, chances are only women will come, or mostly women will come, okay? Because there is an energy, there is a universe, there is a common ground that most men will not identify with. So I don't believe in excluding men from groups, communities, conversations, events. But if that group, that event, that conversation has a feminine flavor to it, chances are men will not be attracted to it, not so much, not frequently. I will give you examples. At Joana Saahirah's World, we organize events regularly, practically every month. Aside from my own free content in my YouTube channel, in Facebook, in Instagram, I'm very prolific in terms of content. Something that irritates a lot of women, touche. Ask, why is that irritating to you? What is it that you're doing or not doing that is reflected upon me, that I'm reminding you of? The messenger, remember. And our events, they're not organized only for women. Some of our events are actually quite universal. I've had authors invited into the platform. I've had teachers and people who were not necessarily belonging to the feminine world. Nonetheless, all the participants were women. Why? Because there is a feminine energy to it. There is a feminine world behind it, and men can feel it, okay? So I would suggest that in order to support other women, you start gathering without excluding men, without excluding anyone, but start organizing, I don't know, dance sessions, dance lectures, book clubs, dance communities. You know, very soon we're gonna have Joana Saahirah's signature course. It's going to be available at Joana Saahirah's Online Dance School from this November on, so I'm very excited. It is the beginning of a great thing and a really pioneering format. In this signature course, I'm gonna teach Egyptian Oriental dance from the start, from the pillars, from the ABC till mastery, and then to the professional level, optional for the ones who wanna go there for teaching and for performing. And in that signature course, I am going to have the community of the course, okay? And then I'm going to invite the participants, the students, to organize their own dance communities in their own countries, in their own cities. Why? Because I believe in the power of community, because I believe in the power of women coming together to share an experience, to share experiences, to support each other, and to uplift each other. I believe in that. And in my world, in my dream world, that is a common reality. And it is becoming more and more common. So I do hope this is going to be another rock into this beautiful castle that we're building together. That's it. These were the questions I had selected for you around competition amongst women. I do believe this is a theme to be explored and to be worked on very much in the future, because a world where women support each other is a better world. Okay, a world where humans support each other is a better world. I will say it even, better. But at the same time, I also believe that it comes from us. It all starts with us, okay? The change starts with you. So what I'm going to suggest is that today, while you're listening to this live Q&A, the replay, you ask yourself, how do I support other women? And how can I support them even further? And remember that when you support them, you're supporting yourself. When you're empowering them, you're empowering yourself. Every time I reach out to a friend or a student and I tell her, I believe in you, what you're going through, you can pull it off, you're able, you're super able, you can do anything your mind and your heart wants to. You got this, you're strong. Every time I say this to a woman, I'm saying it to myself. So when you empower other women, you empower yourself. I hope you start now. Much love. I will send you or make available the link to our signature course, Joana Saahirah's new signature course, Egyptian Oriental Dance, Personal Discovery and Empowerment from the ABC to Mastery, in the comments to this video if you're watching the replay on Facebook, and in the description box below this video if you're gonna watch this video at Joana Saahirah's YouTube channel. I'm also going to share the link to our newsletter, Joana Saahirah's World newsletter. If you want to be the first to receive our news, gifts, and exclusive inspirations I only share with my beautiful people, all you gotta do is follow the link to join our newsletter. Then again, I'm going to share it in the comments to this video if you're watching it on my Facebook profile, and I'm gonna share it in the description box below the video if you're watching it at Joana Saahirah's YouTube channel. I love you, and I will see you very soon for another Juju live session. Let me know in the comments how is your relationship with other women, how you support other women, and how you expect them to support you, and how you deal with competition also. How is it? I want to know all about it in the comments to this video, okay? I will see you soon. Until then, receive my love and my usual kiss. Mwah.